Every month, your money arrives, and every month it quietly leaves. You tell yourself that this time you'll hold on to some of it. You picture the number growing in your account, and then the month ends, and the number is flat or lower, and you can't fully explain how. But the real reason is stranger than you think. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not bad with money. You are running a brain built for a world that no longer exists, and this is where neuroscience comes in. Think about the last time you decided to save. The decision felt strong, the plan felt obvious, and then a small purchase appeared, and it felt harmless, and then another one appeared, and the plan dissolved without a sound. That is not weakness. That is wiring. Your brain was shaped over hundreds of thousands of years to survive scarcity, not to grow a savings account. And the machinery that kept your ancestors alive is the same machinery quietly draining your paycheck today. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Saving money asks your brain to do something it deeply resists. It asks you to give up something real now for something invisible later. And your brain does not treat now and later as equals. It treats them as two different worlds, and it always favors the one you can touch. Scientists call this present bias, or hyperbolic discounting. In plain words, it means the value of a reward collapses the further away it sits in time. $100 today feels enormous. The same $100 a year from now feels faint, almost imaginary. Your brain shrinks the future automatically without asking your permission. So when you choose between spending now and saving for later, it is not a fair fight. The present is loud. The future is a whisper. There is a famous experiment that shows this with almost painful clarity. In the 1960s, a psychologist named Walter Mischel sat young children in front of a single marshmallow. He told them a simple thing. If they could wait and not eat it, they would get two. Then he left the room. Some children held on. Most could not. They stared, they squirmed, and then they reached for the reward in front of them. And here is what neuroscience later revealed about that struggle. The children were not weak. They were living out a battle that happens inside every human brain between the part that wants now and the part that can imagine later. That battle has an address in your head. The part that wants the reward immediately runs through deep, ancient structures tied to your dopamine system. The part that can wait, plan, and resist lives mostly in your prefrontal cortex, the region right behind your forehead. Think of the prefrontal cortex as the calm adult in the room. It sets goals. It thinks ahead. It says, not yet. But it is slow, it tires easily, and it is constantly outnumbered. Because the reward system is fast, and it is powerful, and it does not care about your budget. At the center of it sits a small region called the nucleus accumbens. When you anticipate something pleasurable, this area lights up. And here is the twist that changes everything. It fires hardest not when you get the reward, but when you are about to. The anticipation is the high. The neuroscientist Brian Knudsen showed this directly. Using brain imaging, he watched what happened inside people's heads as they made buying decisions. When a person saw a product they wanted, that reward region activated before they bought anything. The wanting came first, and it was physical. What neuroscience reveals about your money is uncomfortable. That surge you feel scrolling a store at midnight is not a decision. It is a chemical event happening before you've reasoned about anything at all. So now picture the moment saving actually fails. You get paid. For a brief second, the calm planner in your prefrontal cortex is in charge. Save some, it says. Then life happens. A notification, a sale. A tired evening when you just want to feel a little better. And the reward system fires, and dopamine surges toward the thing in front of you, and the quiet plan for the future never stood a chance. This is not a story about being irresponsible. It is a story about being human. Now let's talk about why saving feels worse than spending, because it does, and there's a reason. Two researchers, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, discovered something that reshaped how we understand money and the mind. They found that losses hurt roughly twice as much as equal gains feel good. They called it loss aversion. Losing $20 stings far more than finding $20 pleases you. Your brain is not balanced. It is tilted toward protecting what you already hold. Here is why that quietly sabotages you. When you move money into savings, some deep part of your brain does not file it as safe. It files it as gone, locked away, out of reach. And because loss hurts twice as much as gain, saving can register as a small ache, while spending registers as relief. Read that again. Your brain can experience saving as losing. So every time you try to set money aside, a part of you resists, not because you're foolish, but because your wiring flinches at the feeling of letting go. And there's one more layer. Spending money is supposed to hurt a little. Researchers describe something called the pain of paying. When you hand over cash, a region tied to discomfort activates, a gentle break that once made you think twice. But look at how you pay now. A tap, a saved card, a number on a screen. Modern payment is engineered to erase that pain completely. When the friction disappears, the break disappears, and your ancient reward system spends freely, with nothing standing in its way. So put it all together. Your future feels faint because your brain shrinks it. Your reward system fires before you decide because anticipation is the drug. Saving feels like losing because loss aversion tilts you toward holding what's in front of you. And the pain that once slowed your spending has been smoothed away by design. This is not a character flaw. It is a set of survival tools aimed in exactly the wrong direction. Now, let's bring this back to your actual life. Think about your own savings account. Think about the number you meant to reach and didn't. You probably explained it with words like undisciplined, or irresponsible, or weak. But none of that was true. You were simply losing a fight your brain was designed to lose, over and over, in a world built to exploit it. So what do? You stop relying on willpower, because willpower is the tired planner, and it always runs out. Instead, you work with your wiring. You make saving automatic, so the money leaves before your reward system ever sees it. You put friction back into spending, so the pain of paying returns. You make your future vivid and specific, so your brain stops treating it like a stranger. You are not trying to be stronger than your brain. You are trying to be smarter than the trap. Because here is the truth neuroscience leaves you with. Your money doesn't disappear because you're careless. It disappears because a brilliant, ancient survival machine is doing exactly what it evolved to do, in a world that turned its instincts against it. You were never weak. You were simply unaware. And awareness is where the pattern finally breaks. Every month, your money arrives. And every month, it used to quietly leave. But now you understand the hands that were taking it. And for the first time, some of it can stay.